fear is fear. How do you know that you have fear? How do you know you're afraid of something? And if you are, how do you overcome that?
Yes.
By facing it, giving it attention. Put the spotlight on it. And then all of a sudden, the magic trick's not so magic anymore, is it?
What a beautiful day to be alive. My debt is paid and more money arrives. The fridge is full and there's plenty of ice for a fireside chat with anyone I like. What a beautiful day, good to be here, when almost everyone has disappeared. When almost everyone is waiting in line, it's good to meet you in this world of mine.
Welcome, everybody. We are live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com, or as I like to say, we are living with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. Either way, you're doing well if you're here with us. That's the most important thing. Whether you're here tonight with us on our live broadcast, or you're listening to a podcast, or you're listening to the archives down the road at some point, just know you have found yourself in an absolutely wonderful place, and we're glad you're here. Thanks to everybody tuning in here in the United States and around the world. We have been on a 2-week hiatus, and so everybody was writing me today frantically, are you going to be on tonight? Are you going to be on tonight? Yes, we are here, and I'm so grateful to be able to just connect with you once again, and I know Dr. Dean is excited. She loves to be able to talk with people about the thing that she is most passionate about, which is the body actually being allowed to do what it does magically and perfectly, which is duplicate healthy cells and produce radiant life. And that's what we're about. And we do that not only with our will and our words and our intention and our desire, but we also do it with her complement formulas. And, of course, as you know, if you've listened to the show before, Dr. Dean is a medical doctor. She's also a naturopath. She's got incredible investment in every single kind of modality you can absolutely believe. Ever seen. More than that, she can cut through the BS, people. She can just cut straight through all the gimmicks, all the fads, everything, and dial it right back down into cellular health. What is biologically accurate for the body, and what does it require to function optimally? That's what we're here to talk about tonight. And, of course, before I bring her in, I will also remind you, she's got her new book out, The Magnesium Miracle, which is not new. It's old, and then it's new, and it's old. But it's the 2017 edition. And what I mean by that, it's not new, it's old, is she brought it out many years ago. It's absolutely the Bible of magnesium supplementation. But on top of that, she's revised it and given so much new information. If you don't have it handy, you really want to get that on Amazon. And she's talking about that right now, but we're also going to be talking about everything this evening that pertains to all of our formulas. I just want you to know, as she's speaking to you, yes, she's a medical doctor. Yes, she's a naturopath. And yes, she's an author, which makes her quite the expert. And she's also a researcher. But tonight she's just going to talk from her heart about what she would do if she were you and she were in your circumstances, if you have questions for her or want to get a little bit more access or insight into how these formulas work. So no medical advice tonight, peeps. Just good old Dr. Dean common sense. So we're so happy to have her with us this evening. Welcome, everybody, Dr. Carolyn Dean.
Hello, Ginny. I've been away for 2 weeks. Do I sound relaxed, Ginny? Do you think I can speed up my intonation here and get to the facts, get to the information that everybody's waiting for, which is how healthy and happy you can be at the cellular level? That's what we're doing.
Right.
We are at the cellular level on this radio show. We are cutting through the BS, and I love it when Chad kind of nudges me to do, as we did with our exercise webinar or some of my latest blogs, cutting through the gimmicks and fads because, I don't mind saying I've been at this for 50 years, reading health information and then going to medical school and then naturopathic college, and I've been around since before there were health food stores in my town and before there were all these supplements, and now they do come across to people as, just everybody's got all these products, everybody has words to say about them, and just be careful that you're not just buying the words. You have to think about how you feel or feel how you feel when you take the nutrients that you buy, and if you don't feel better, then why bother taking them? That's our basic message. And what I've done is I try to stay away from products. Right from the very beginning when people saw that I would go out into the community and lecture or go on radio, go on TV, the health supplement companies that were starting to develop it, we want this doctor to promote our product, to tell people to buy it. And I just totally avoided it for decades, for 45 years, well, maybe 40 years. And then I had to create dietary supplements that made me feel better. And that's how this all began. And, I stand by what we've created, and we're having such a good time with it, helping people. And our latest product that we put out just, a little over a week ago while I was away was and is the ReMag lotion. And we've been getting testimonials right, left, and center about ReMag. I'll say a couple. Ginny may have something as well to input. But this first one begins with OMG. I never write reviews, but the ReMag lotion you created is off the charts for me. I have low magnesium levels and have bought tons of magnesium oil and will not take the time to put it on my skin. You said, let me just sidebar here. Why magnesium oil became big, and I even wrote about it in my 2014 edition of the Magnesium Miracle, because in order to get a non-laxative form of magnesium, we had to put it on our skin and make it absorb transdermally, because you could not find a non-laxative oral product and take enough of it to make enough difference. This was in, a great percentage of the population. So magnesium oil became hot. And what you'll notice with a lot of the transdermal products out there, they will make the statement, this is the best absorbed form of magnesium. So they're still on that bandwagon that there aren't good non-laxative orals, but of course they don't know my product, and that gets into the whole, marketing and commercial aspect and the competition and all the rest of it for magnesium products, because they're not going to say, well, actually, Dr. Dean has the best oral non-laxative magnesium. They're just going to keep saying that this magnesium oil is the best way to take it. But what this person is saying, I'll give first names. Amy is saying that she's bought tons of it but just can't seem to deal with putting it on. She says the reason is that it's so oily, and I don't want to spend time waiting 20 minutes to absorb it in my skin and then wash it off. Because that's what I've had to say to people. Well, put it on, then rinse it off. This oily business, some people say, well, don't put it in oil. It's actually not in an oil. Magnesium transdermal is called a magnesium oil because what they do to create it is they'll take a magnesium chloride, rock, break it down, and then they'll dissolve it in distilled water. And they'll keep dissolving it until it starts to precipitate out. So then they'll back off a little bit. And it just becomes oily, this distilled water and magnesium chloride mineral. And so there's nothing you can do about the oiliness. That's just the way this hugely concentrated magnesium works. Now, how we've gotten around that with the ReMag itself, and then the ReMag is the same liquid we put in our lotion. Well, we don't just dissolve magnesium chloride in water. Our chemist has 18 steps that breaks down the magnesium chloride into picometer size, and then makes the ions stabilize. So you're just dealing with ions at the liquid level of ReMag. It is so diluted and dissolved and kind of non-existent that you can't even see the magnesium chloride or the magnesium under an electron microscope. So it's tiny, 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 which is the size that the cells need to be absorbed. So we're doing that for the oral, and it's the same ReMag liquid that's in the ReMag lotion. So it's going to be absorbed really, really well. So Amy continues, your ReMag lotion has solved this issue for me. This business about how oily the magnesium oils are. So ours is not oily. She said the moment I opened the package, I tested on my legs, and it absorbed so smoothly without any oily feeling, and I felt relaxed right away. It's been 2 days, and each morning I get up and I smooth it on my legs, arms, and belly, and I do the same 5 minutes before I shut eye. Getting into the habit of using this lotion was so easy, and it is truly a miracle product. I'm hooked for life, and so far I'm building my magnesium levels up on the daily basis, doing it in a way I actually look forward to. Wow is the one word to describe the ReMag lotion. Please keep creating wonderful, useful, and delightful products to increase health and well-being. I'm loyal for life. So that's awesome. And she said, please use this as a testimonial. I have another one, but I'm going to go to Ginny now and just ask for her input about what she's been hearing about ReMag lotion.
I'm actually, stunned and flattered or something. I mean, I don't even know what to say because the response was so profound. How many orders we shipped and how many people wanted it, and then the fact that people couldn't even wait to get it. Like, I just envision people standing out on the street and ripping open their package, like right there, and slathering it on their body on the way to the door, which I have been known to do with my own cosmetic product orders. So, I might just be projecting, but seriously, I mean, people have been very, very complimentary about it, and we have not had not uno bad word, just not even one. Everybody's just really enjoying it, and even we're getting guys weighing in and saying they're using it on their face after shaving and everything. I mean, this is just incredible. So I think it's awesome. I personally love it. I know you love it. And I'm just really proud of what we've done. And it did take a long time. And we talked about it for a long time. And people have waited a long time. And so we have to do this. We have to go like this. And give everybody a little applause for being so patient, because we were like, we're launching it next week. Oh, no, wait, we're not launching it next week. Oh, we're going to have, no, it's not going to be there. Right? We did that. Poor people, our poor peeps. Mm-hmm. So, but we did, it was definitely worth the wait. Definitely worth the wait, right. Carolyn.
Now, there was, I don't know if it came through you, Ginny, but somebody did get through to me and say, well, why isn't it organic, and why do you have what looks like preservatives in it, and that sort of comment. And the thing of it is, as Ginny has explained to me, and I explained back to Ginny, ReMag lotion is listed as a cosmetic, not as a transdermal, quote, dietary supplement. So it requires certain preservatives. But, I mean, what we have in here is ingredients that are derived from coconut oil, palm oil, what else? There's some
shea,
aloe.
jojoba. Yeah, I mean, like this, somebody was so upset about the cetyl alcohol or whatever. It comes from coconut oil. I mean, it's not like these harsh things. It just couldn't even be that wonderful on your skin if it was that harsh. You know, the way people are using it. So yeah, it's just fancy words. It's not that deep.
Yeah, because when you read something like cetyl alcohol, I guess it could come from some sort of synthetic source, but all our sources are natural sources. So, this is where customer service spends some time trying to explain to people that, when you Google something on the Internet and find something horrible, then, let us know if you find something horrible, and we'll tell you, no, we're not into horrible. And then the sidebar of that also is, look, you're on the complement formulas, you're getting healthier and healthier so that you can withstand some of the toxicity in the environment. So you shouldn't be afraid of ingredients at this point in time. So yes, we've been very blessed to have a product that is really going to help people. I'm making sure that people I know who have children with ADHD, autism, learning disabilities, that they slather their kids with this ReMag lotion because it is a way for them to, we have to say, hydrate the skin with magnesium. We can't say much more. So another testimonial is, I'm just putting the timestamp here. Just wanted to say I received my 2 bottles of lotion yesterday and started using it last night before bed on my legs, arms, and face. I had been using another brand of lotion specifically on my knees, but it was difficult to rub into my skin and absorb, so I often didn't bother. The ReMag lotion absorbs easily and does not leave any sticky or greasy feeling. I had both knees replaced about 2 years ago, and although that solved the actual joint issue, I still have swelling and stiffness. When I first tried a magnesium oil on them, I was amazed at the immediate difference it made. Now with the fantastic ReMag lotion, there will be no more skipping its use. So this is what we're hearing from people, is that we just made it convenient for them. We're not going to keep on making product after product after product just to make products. We'll make things, that make sense and are helpful to people. And no matter how many times customer service would say to people, well, look, just get your favorite hand cream, body cream, and whip it up with the ReMag liquid, and you'll have a ReMag lotion. But who has time for that? So we're just really happy that we have something that people love and is going to be helpful to them. Let's go to pets and complement formulas. There's so much, maybe it's because we've been away for a couple of weeks, but there's so much to talk about today. Ginny is having a experiment at her house with her dear puppy dog baby, who was mercilessly run down by a teenager who I hope his head explodes at some point for what he did. Golly, I mean, I think about it. I can't imagine how you suffered through that and just let him live. But anyway, this dog had his hips crushed by being run over by this stupid teenager, and he's been on the complement formulas. And even now, I think because he's been on medications and was he on antibiotics? I'm sure he was on antibiotics. Oh my Lord,
yes. Poor thing. Yeah. She was on the strongest antibiotics and GABA and Tramadol, which is some of our most contemptible and hated products ever. Oh my gosh.
We have to use them sometime. So
I know.
I said to Ginny, okay, what probiotic can we use? And so before I think we were going to just ask the Prescript Assist people about the probiotic Prescript Assist for pets, and Ginny emailed back pretty quickly. Carolyn, I just Googled Prescript Assist pets and your name, and you've written a blog about it, even saying that squirrels can take Prescript Assist, and you got that information from the Prescript Assist people. So yeah, it's like I say in my many blogs. Look, just Google my name, and maybe you'll get an answer to your question. So yes, seriously, folks, if you have pets with intestinal disorders, pets who've had to take antibiotics, they can take Prescript Assist. Now, didn't Jared say just one capsule once or twice a week, Ginny?
Yes, yeah. It's not every day. Yeah, just once or twice a week. Yeah,
right.
Not every day.
So you just open up the capsule. The little granules in it slide out very quickly. I use an open capsule into a little bit of water for my retention enema after my weekly coffee enema. So it's real easy to work with. But with pets, you can just open it up and put it in their food. It's tasteless. And Prescript Assist, I think, gosh, everybody should be taking it every day. Seriously. We have so many gut issues. We can't eat 100% organic, perfectly, home-cooked meals every day. So in order to balance out the intestinal flora, Prescript Assist is really important. Now, what our dear friend Catherine sent to us. Now, she's an amazing artist. She makes lights. She makes these incredible. How would you describe them, Ginny? I started giving them to everybody, and then Ginny started giving them to everybody, having Catherine make them. How would you describe Catherine's light boxes?
They're like little twinkly glass light boxes. They're probably, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 inches tall, and then about the same wide. And they do have different shapes. Some of them are rectangular and some of them are more squarish. But she meticulously goes through and puts all this really beautiful glass and stuff on them, and then sparkles them out with these lights and stuff, and puts little pretty colors in them. It's good. They're great. They're beautiful. Yes, I've bought quite a few. Yes.
Yeah, she glues mine that I'm looking at right now. It has purple stones and green stones and white crystal stones on it. And then you have a little battery run like Christmas tree lights that you put inside, and you turn on the lights, and it's just this sparkly little adjunct to your whatever decorating. So Catherine, I don't think she'd mind me saying, because she's had, this girl has had 4 open heart surgeries. So she's had heart problems, and now on the complete formula, she doesn't anymore. But she said, I have a huge brag about ReMag and my sweet rescue puppy, a whippet called Gus. She said, I adopted Gus for my birthday in January. He is 7 and has the exact same condition that I had in 2013, a problem with his mitral valve and also his tricuspid valve. This dog is my shadow/mirror in many ways. I love him dearly. I remember Dr. Dean talking in one of her Monday night radio shows that ReMag is safe for pets. So when I adopted Gus, I decided to give him small diluted amounts of ReMag in his large water dish. I give him a splash of my daily mixture of ReMag, Remite, and Recalcio with every bowl of water he drinks. He is doing fabulous and is not symptomatic in terms of his heart. So then Catherine describes how she took him back to the doctor, and since he wasn't having symptoms, they didn't do an echocardiogram or whatever, but on a physical examination, the vet listened to his heart, and he had a look of amazement on his face as he listened closely. He told me, I think his heart sounds better. and he said he would have to rate him as a grade 2, and he'd been rated as a grade 3 to 6 over, before the ReMag, Remite, and Recalcia. So, nobody could believe it. And see, this is what we love to hear, the look of amazement on the face of a doctor who is just, they're listening to this heart and thinking, oh, it's going to be worse, and I have to tell Catherine that her dog's worse. And then the dog is better. And she said, I couldn't hold back. And I shared what I was doing with the ReMag. The vet was so impressed, he wanted info dropped off. So Jenny very sweetly sends literature with all the orders that you can share with people. So she dropped it off to the doctor, and then she said, I went home and called the rescue president, and she was so thrilled at the findings, and I sent her literature as well. So that was awesome. So thank you very much, Catherine, who is probably listening. I hope you don't mind me mentioning your dear heart. And your heart lights, that's what I call them. Okay, so then, we've already used up our half hour, but let me ask you, Ginny, because I haven't even started with your blog or my blogs. Should we go to the phones, really shake it up today?
Oh, okay. Let's look. That's a good question. Let's look and see who is all calling in and chitty-chatting. Okay, we don't have any raised hands yet, but that doesn't mean we won't because we haven't really announced the phones. But let me tell you, if you're calling this evening to talk to Dr. Dean, you've got to call in on our phone line for the studio, which is 602-666-6027. That's 602-666-6027. And then what will happen is when you get into the call itself, you've got to hit *5 on the keypad. *5 will raise your hand on our studio board and let me know that you've got a question. And then once you hit that *5, we'll put you on the line with Dr. Dean. So nobody's hitting *5 yet, Carolyn, but we do have lots of new callers this evening, so I'm sure once they get the hang of it, they'll want to be speaking with you. So let's...
No problem. Yeah, I could just talk the whole 2 hours, so not a problem. Okay, Ginny's blog. Now, this was a good blog. You'll find it on drcarolyndeanlive.com, and she's taken some of my words about how I got involved with the completement formulas, and I actually said a bit of that before, how I did my naturopathic training after my medical degree. And, I was all about natural medicine. And what I began to see, because I guess I was a holistic doctor before the term was invented, because I was a trained naturopath and a medical doctor, but I mostly did natural medicine. And the only difference I began to see between the naturopaths and the allopathic doctors was that instead of drugs, the naturopaths were using natural supplements. And when what happened was when the supplements didn't seem to work, they used more and more. They began to use intramuscular injections, intravenous injections of stronger and stronger supplements, trying to force the body to comply with what they thought the body needed. So, this forcing the body to do what we think the body needs from some, scientific or pseudoscientific standpoint overrides the innate wisdom of the body. And I got that sort of terminology because I learned the BEST technique, something biologic, energetic, synchronization technique. It was a chiropractic technique that a chiropractor who headed a chiropractic college trained his students, and I learned it, and it was just energy. It was moving energy in the body, and that's moving or directing or just kind of allowing the flow of the body's energy, and that some people describe as innate wisdom. Now, even the energy of the body, we have to drill down and find out, well, where is the energy of the body coming from? It's coming from magnesium. The adenosine triphosphate that is made in the Krebs cycle, in the mitochondria, in all the cells of the body, except the red blood cells, the Krebs cycle making the ATP, 6 of the 8 steps requires magnesium. So the energy of the body, the innate wisdom, the flow in the body, the chi, the acupuncture meridians, all those systems require magnesium. And we've heard over and over again from people who go to energy medicine, whether it be homeopathy or acupuncture or hands-on techniques or all the machines these days. People are relying on magnetic mats and doing all sorts of things, like the biohacking people, which I've been critiquing lately in my blogs. You can look that up. The biohacking people are talking about all kinds of tech. They call technology tech, and they say that we have all these machines that will help you. Well, the machines aren't going to help if your body doesn't have the building blocks that are required to make the cells healthy, to make us at a cellular level. You can't force energy into the body if it doesn't have the minerals to create the electrical conductivity. So then Ginny continues with my words about, I think this must be my journey to completement that is on the RNA Reset website, and describing, how I came about using the completement formulas and completing the health of the body rather than supplementing, kind of layering on top. We want the body to be completely healthy, so the completement formulas are set to do that. And it's a kind of a long blog. I'll let you read it in its entirety at drcarolyndeanlive.com. And partly just to finish that blog up, basically everything just came together on its own. I kind of didn't plan too much of all this, but in my mind, I knew I wanted only a handful of dietary supplements. I wanted them to be well absorbed. I wanted them to work, and I wanted them to work together, and that's what we've gotten. So, Ginny, did you have anything to add about that? Because, I kind of rushed through your blog. Tell us what you were trying to achieve with
No. I just wanted people to know that the way that they're put together, definitely for cellular health, and also that if they haven't achieved the results that they want to achieve, they need to look at how they're using them. Because we don't not have success with the products. People succeed and win in big ways on our formulas. So if they haven't gotten where they want to go yet, we need to really look at how they are using the formulas and if they're using all the formulas. So it's like, a lot of people start out with the ReMag and then they find a little lull and it's like add the ReMag, how to build on them and how to work with them, that kind of thing.
Okay, perfect. And then there are a few good questions. I have some, I guess, having been away for 2 weeks, I really want to answer some of these questions. And someone asks, can you address how your products and program may help improve lymphatic flow? Is there a connection between mineral deficiency and sluggish lymph? And this is from Jenny. And absolutely. The lymph doesn't flow unless you're hydrated. And hydration also requires minerals. And the lymph doesn't flow unless you get some exercise and movement. And you don't exercise and move if you don't have energy. And it can be as basic and as simple as that. Hydrating the body can improve so much. I mean, when I have taken clients, patients, to people who do live blood cell analysis. They'll look at their blood under a microscope, and it'll be so clumped up, and it just looks horrible. Nothing's moving. And then I say, well, let's do an experiment. Drink a liter of water. And back then it was just a liter of water, or maybe just 2 cups of water, and I didn't have a sea salt in it. But they drink a couple cups of water, redo their blood tests, and lo and behold, everything had improved. So hydration is so important, and people think, well, that's not much, but it makes all the difference. And if your body is trying to, through the lymphatics, clear toxins, kind of strain out the foreign material or the white blood cells that are grabbing onto viruses or bacteria, it can't do it if you're not hydrated. So in terms of the products addressing lymphatic flow, yes, hydrate your body, take half your body weight in pounds, drink that number of ounces a day in good spring water or filtered water. Put in a 1/4 teaspoon of unrefined sea salt into each liter of water. Drink that through the day, and then you get the water flowing into the cells behind the minerals, and the cell then performs its metabolic functions, one of the major functions being the Krebs cycle, producing energy, and then the waste material from that metabolism is excreted from the cell, picked up by the lymphatics, and goes on its way. So it begins with hydration. Another question, it is, thank you for your great product with the ReMag. Could you include more information for patients where we're being told our AFib is caused by mitral valve issues, either regurg or prolapse, but not yet severe enough for surgery? I just want to stay off dangerous beta blockers so badly, even though I'm stuck on cilantro now, blood thinner, and its side effects of headaches. I cannot take non-steroidal anti-inflammatories as per the blood thinner people. So Sherry's asking about this business. See, when you have some sort of valvular damage, it can put a strain on the musculature of the heart and affect the electrical conductivity. Now, because we can't talk about magnesium treating diseases, I'll go to my book, Magnesium Miracle 2017 edition, which I've updated, and I think I have more about the mitral valve here. So, mitral valve prolapse is associated with magnesium deficiency. Without magnesium, the valve, which consists of 2 flaps coming together, becomes rigid and can't properly close, which allows leakage of blood through the partially open valve. If you have enough magnesium, the flaps of the valve are relaxed and close completely, preventing blood from escaping. Also, under this abnormal heart valve section, I say, with aortic valve calcification, body parts do not calcify unless there is too little magnesium to keep calcium in solution. So that's the research. I mean, there have been studies and reports on this. I have a larger section in the book on mitral valve prolapse, and it just amazes people when they hear that something anatomical like a mitral valve prolapse can be related to magnesium deficiency. And I don't think I'm defying the FDA's order here. I'm just reporting the literature. Dr. Mildred Zelig reports that low magnesium levels have been found in as many as 85% of mitral valve prolapse patients. And if you have the book, you can read that reference to your doctor. 60% of 141 individuals with strongly symptomatic mitral valve prolapse had low magnesium levels compared to only 5% of the control group. And then they do talk about supplementing with magnesium, but I guess I'm not allowed to talk about that because that makes magnesium a drug. But if your condition is a magnesium deficiency condition, aren't we just using magnesium as a balancer to the body to give it enough magnesium? Anyway, that question we might have to put before the FDA at some point. This 38-year-old woman is saying, since February 2017, my body has decided to go into premature menopause. She's 38. I've gained 20 pounds since March, she says. And listen to this. An ultrasound found calcified clusters in my left breast and a cyst in my right breast, both of which are causing me minor pain. She says, I've taken iodine liquid and taken CBD. I don't know if that's cannabis, along with something else to balance her hormones. I just purchased your ReMag and ReMite solutions, hoping to remineralize my body. A hair analysis showed I'm dangerously low on magnesium, along with low thyroid function. I'm a slow metabolizer. How do you suggest I best take your complement formulas to assist in supporting my body to resume hormonal balance and in turn lose the weight? Well, and this is from Jessica. Basically, I know people keep having so many different aspects of magnesium deficiency symptoms, and they think there's a different way to take it for each of their symptoms, but really everybody starts the same with the quarter teaspoon in their liter of water a day, quarter teaspoon of ReMag, quarter teaspoon of ReMite after the first week of ReMag, and every few days adds a quarter teaspoon. And the stopping point, it's hard to say about the stopping point. If people are taking medications, they might need an extra teaspoon. I think 2 teaspoons a day is a good kind of balanced amount. Maintenance amount can be 1 teaspoon, which is where I'm at right now, but I am putting on a lot of ReMag lotion because I love it as a body lotion. So it's just the way the labels read. A quarter teaspoon, increase every few days, at 2 teaspoons of ReMag, at a teaspoon and a half of ReMite. Assess how you feel. Make a list of your symptoms, and then in a couple of months see what remains. But when you're developing calcifications in the breast, and that sets you up for mammograms, and you said ultrasound, so thank goodness that doesn't have radiation. But having calcification implies severe magnesium deficiency. And you would be, or I would be making sure I stayed away from calcium supplements and even a lot of dairy products, and make sure I took enough magnesium to saturate myself. But the way the ReMag is set up as being so highly absorbed, it's going to do the job for balancing your health. The way the ReMite, I have to parse my words before I say them, but the way the ReMite is set up with the 9 minerals that support the thyroid, that's going to be important, and it's just the dosages we recommend. Okay, I'm going to stop now and see if Ginny has any phone calls for me, but know that I could keep going.
I know. You can keep going, and let's check and see what the chat line's doing. So, again, 602-666-6027. If you've got a question or comment for Dr. Dean, you've got to hit *5 on your keypad to raise your hand in the studio and let me know you have something to say. Otherwise, your phone remains on mute, and then we won't be able to hear that you've got a question. So, again, *5 in the keypad to do that. Now, let's see. I want to say that we've got a couple people on here, Carolyn, that want to share some information with you and have some questions.
Okay.
First of all, Margaret Lee is back from Brazil, where she was visiting John of God.
Oh, right.
Now, I will say that these are not correlated experiences, but I will say that it is somewhat of a little coinkydink that Margaret actually took the pictures of our products and dropped them into the John of God entity basket or something the day we launched ReMag lotion.
Oh. So that, I mean, I was shocked. I was literally shocked. I thought there had been a huge mistake at the bank.
So maybe it was Margaret who did everything with her positive energy. She's such a great fan of our products, and with good reason, because this is what she says. She says, I had to come back. She took our brochures with her to Brazil. I mean, she's just a character. Some of the ReMag I had wrapped in baggies leaked in my suitcase coming home, and I didn't want to waste it. So I'm putting it all on my knee that I got bruised and swollen from a fall I had when I was away. I began doing this last night and this morning, and the bruising has already gone down. The swelling's already gone down, and the bruising has been greatly reduced. There's Margaret making lemonade with lemons and just doing her thing. She's such a sweetheart. We just love her. So welcome back, Margaret. I'm glad you had a great time. Judy typed in Carolyn and said, how long does it take for the lotion to go completely in? If I wash my hands, do I lose it?
Well, I used to say with the magnesium oil to give it 20 minutes. And I don't know about that. The thing is, Judy, I've seen with the ReMag lotion, I don't have to wash it off my hands. I just, really rub it hard, into dry places in my body that, let me explain. I'm putting my ReMag lotion on my arms, like up the back of my arms where, I always used to get these little bumpy things, just 100 little bumpy things on my upper arms. Well, they're gone. So I do my arms. I do the back of my hands. I do my rib that I bruised when I was away, and I do my legs. And then if I have some left on my hands, I just really scrub them on my tummy or my back. And I do my neck. And I find I don't have to wash my hands of the ReMag lotion. Jenny, do you know what I'm saying? Do you find that? And it used to be I would never use hand cream because I'm always on the computer. So who's going to bring their hand cream and put it all over their keyboard? But with the ReMag lotion, I don't have to wash it off. But anyway, if you're going to wash it off, it's just a little amount. I mean, you're going to really rub it into the rest of your body, and it's going to be absorbed. So, don't worry about that little bit on your hands. That's all I'd say.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not anything like that magnesium oil or even other magnesium lotions that are pretty grody. This is awesome, and I don't wash it off of anything. I mean, I love it. You just use it on your skin, and you don't have to wash anything off. It's really quite beautiful and very elegant.
Yeah, and through the day, I will be putting on 3 or 4 layers, for this bruised rib. I couldn't move with it for a while, but when I was able to stop and put the ReMag lotion on 4 times a day, overnight it was pretty normal, which is amazing.
Hey, Carolyn, I want to mention something.
Hi, Bob.
I got to try this lotion. I haven't had a chance to try it before, but anyways. John of God, I'm aware of that. I became aware of him 2004 or something, and I've seen footage of him, and he sticks these needles into people's eyeballs. It's incredibly horrible looking, and he apparently has healing effects. I'm always wondering what our stuff's doing compared to someone like him. I've thought about him a lot. Are we causing something on a spiritual level with our substance? Like, what's he doing? So maybe It'd be interesting to talk to Margaret maybe privately about,
Right.
or maybe she could email, what does she think? How do you compare? Because it is an amazing phenomenon what he does.
Here's what I think, Bob. I think extreme measures like that shock a person into their wellness. I really do think that some people think they're so ill that they need something dramatic.
Well, how can he stick the needles in people's eyeballs and not hurt? Does he know some secret passage?
Yeah, I don't think that's the only thing he does, because my friend Lisa Maria went to him in 2004 when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. She swears up and down he cured her. He didn't touch her. I mean, he didn't touch her with any kind of a needle. She was in his presence. So I don't know, because I'm not really I just know about Lisa Marie and what happened to her. But I don't know, what's going on. But, yes, Margaret seems to be the resident expert now, Margaret. So you'll probably either have to call in and or talk to Bob, email us, and if you don't mind, I'll give Bob your email, and you guys can chitty-chat about it, because it is an interesting kind of situation. And now that was 2004. And this is 2018, and he's almost 18. He's still at it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I know there's villages of people live around him, or that's what I saw all those years ago. But what does he do about atrial fibrillation? The stuff that magnesium deals, does he heal that? Or it's like Carol was saying, he only heals dramatic, intense problems? That would be a question.
Yeah, that's a good point. If a person can, with such intervention, say to their bodies, okay, be perfect, and then their bodies absorb from whatever food they're eating and get all their nutrients. But, dramatic things, let me say that, for example, the people who are doing, what's this, where they take organs, organ transplants? Not organ transplants, but where they take fetal extract from umbilical cords and inject it. What's that called?
Stem cells?
Yeah.
Stem cell? Yeah,
I've heard from stem cell doctors that, it really helps dramatically, but then they just, if they don't change their habits, they just acquire the disease or illness or whatever all over again. So the building blocks are always going to be important. So that's where, if you do something dramatic, be sure to do the basics as well.
Right. Very good.
Do our products regardless of what happens to you.
Yeah,
because I don't know, maybe he's been around long enough that they do studies in what he does now. Maybe there's published things and they show it lasts, but usually those kind of dramatic things don't last long.
Yeah.
Like Carolyn says, it comes back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Margaret's still taking her ReMag to see John of God, and she's bringing her ReMag back from when she saw John of God. So Margaret's got things in perspective, because she's got our formulas, and she's going to go visit John of God. So, and she's such a sweetheart. So we'll put her on the spot and get her to tell us what she knows. Spill the beans, Margaret. Or, like I said, send me an email, and I'll forward it to Bob, and then you guys can chitty-chat about it. Yeah, but
it's
Margaret's
funny,
got
Carolyn,
good perspective.
Right. Carolyn, I've brought him up over the last 5-7 years. You've heard me say, what about John of God? You've heard me say that.
Oh, yeah. It'll be interesting to get an update on what people are experiencing down there.
Yeah.
And Margaret's the one to tell us, so that'd be great.
Yes, she said this is what she typed in. I think she said spiritual anesthesia. I have seen physical surgeries. He's been doing the work for 60 years. It's her second time going. His work is all about energy. If anyone wants to call or email me, please have them do so. So if you want to contact Margaret about this, and Bob, I'll give you her information, then you can have a chat about it. Yeah, kind of interesting.
All right.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Bob. Belinda types in and says, greetings from South Florida. I'm glad you're back. I'm very grateful for the power to listen. Amen to you too, Belinda. God bless you, South Florida, Lord. Just got my Renew and ReMag lotion. I'm using the Renew on my face, neck, and chest diluted with coconut oil. It's been 3 days. It feels very nice. Hubby is now willing to take the ReMag because it's in lotion form. Stay tuned. Also, I had bought 2 books, gifted one to my acupuncturist. During my 30-minute treatment, another patient pleaded with me to borrow his brand new book. Oh, pleaded with the doctor to borrow the brand new book. So she's going to give him another copy as a loaner. So she just ordered 5 more copies of your book, Carolyn. Belinda did.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you, Belinda.
Yeah.
And we're at the top of the hour.
We are. Let's just do one more thing, this thing before we get to the top, and then we're going to go to our phones. And I do see waving hands, and I know you're there, so just hang in there 1 second. It is Deb's birthday today, Carolyn.
Oh,
Deborah, who's in reverse aging on all her completement formulas. We never talk about age, but she's young or looking all the time. Yeah, very devoted to the product. So I wanted to give a little love shout out to her. Happy birthday, Deborah. And also, Susan in New Zealand, I did get your email. I can't read that on the air. I will send it to Carolyn, and I'm sure she will respond. Okay, so that's Susan in New Zealand. Had to tell you that. All right, everybody, we'll be back. First hour's under our belt. We'll be back with hour 2 here in just a second. This is Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean on AchieveRadio.com.
We'll be back with Hour 2 of Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean, along with host Ginny Gunther, after this brief station break. You can also get updates and resources online by visiting drcarolyndean.com.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
Don't you see some kind of divine spirituality in that, Ion or Bob?
Yes, absolutely. Destroy all the printing presses. If you'd have never created it to start with, you wouldn't have had all this fun uncreating it. And it's very wonderful because now what happens is the individual creators are divine. And as you come into your divinity, you don't have to wonder what the typesetter set up, just as in Finnegan's Wake brings you into the place of an anomaly that you can't get, a conundrum that you can't answer. You're exactly correct. It's what James Joyce was trying to say. Is don't get tangled up in all this stuff. Live, be happy. And if Finnegan crashes, okay, fine, but you don't have to have the wake because he probably won't show up either.
You were saying that all those things that you interact with were also a creation. And we say yes, but they had to be spoken. Otherwise, how would you know to call it a doorknob?
AchieveRadio.com. What a beautiful day to be alive. My debt is paid and more money arrives. The fridge is full and there's plenty of ice for a fireside chat with anyone I like. What a beautiful day, good to be here, when almost everyone has disappeared, when almost everyone is waiting in line. It's good to meet you in this world of mine.
Excellent, excellent. Welcome back, everybody. Hour 2 of Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. It feels good to be back with everybody. We were gone for 2 weeks, but gosh, we just love our show so much and all of our peeps and hanging out with you guys and chitty-chatting and keeping everybody inspired, and it motivates us, and it's just great. It's great fun to be here, huh, Carolyn?
Yes, absolutely. And I just want to mention that the outro, was that a new outro by Dave Neufeld?
No, it wasn't new. It was just Bill pushed the wrong button, maybe. No, it was just a instrumental. Bill is a little, what is that word? Squeaky, not squeaky, not altogether there either, because he's been on a 2-week break. So, no, it wasn't the official outro, just the musical one. Yeah.
Did you hear that static, Carol?
Yeah, I didn't know if it was static. I heard Dave's voice underneath it, so I thought Dave was competing with our
Michael Brown.
Michael Brown's intro.
No, it's just noise. You thought the noise was a Dave Neufeld creation?
I don't
No.
know.
Anyways, did you hear the static, Ginny, or is it just our phones?
No, I heard it. It's very staticky, very thick, yeah.
It was very loud, and it stopped. I don't know why it even happened.
Okay, we're moving on.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ginny.
Okay. All right, so let's take some phone calls, get our callers in here this evening. Again, 602-666-6027 is the number to call if you want to talk to Dr. Dean tonight. The pleasure everybody should have at least once in their life to talk to Dr. Dean. She's such a blessing. So let's go to our phones, and you'll hear me take off your phone, and this is hello.
Hello?
Yes, you're there with Dr. Carolyn Dean. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Dr. Dean. Basically, I've had a problem for the past 2 years, and very recently I've started to think maybe it could be a magnesium deficiency.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering, if you would agree with it. Really, is it okay if I just give you a quick rundown of what's happened?
Yes, you could. I mean, the FDA won't allow us to equate a disease with magnesium treatment, but I'll do the best I can.
Okay, yeah, sure. What happened was, I should probably point out, I've got cerebral palsy, so my limbs are all affected. But I've always had good upper body strength. It's never been a problem.
How old
but around
are
November,
you? Hang on. How old are you, and what's your first name, so I can bond with you?
Sorry, yeah. I'm Dan, and I'm 28. 29 in November. So yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
But yeah, I was fine. Like my upper body strength was always there, and it never caused me any problems. But then in November, I got put onto omeprazole. And
Omeprazole?
Omeprazole.
Spell it.
OMEPRAZOLE.
Oh, got it. Right.
It was a PPI, but the thing is, almost instantly, I noticed tingling around my wrists and hands.
Oh. Right.
I thought it was kind of strange. The doctors kind of denied that it can happen. Doctors have not been able to find out what's wrong. I've been referred to neurologists, had a CT scan, nerve conduction tests. Still not found anything. I had a B12 test that was really low, so I had a loading dose. That's not changed anything. Getting that back up. A vitamin D test that was very low as well. But the thing is, they not only prescribed me with a lot of vitamin D, they gave me calcium, and they told me to take 3,000 milligrams of that a day. And basically, I was doing, and they didn't give me a length of time to do this. They just said to do it indefinitely. So I was doing this, and a couple of months into that, I stopped being able to use my hands. Really, I couldn't even use a knife or a fork or a spoon. I couldn't pick up a can of Coke, soda, to drink that without a straw. Sorry.
Right.
And it just got really bad, and that's when I did some research. Yeah.
Yeah, let me back up just to get the facts here. How much vitamin D were you prescribed?
Okay, it was 40,000 IUs once a week for 7 weeks, and the calcium came with vitamin D as well, and there was 200 IUs in each one of those, and I had to take 4 of those a day.
Oh my gosh! And so 800 plus the calcium total a day was 3,000 milligrams.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
I did that for about 2-3 months.
Wow. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm just groaning so much here.
I'll be honest. I am as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I got so frustrated. So then that's when I had it was mostly a problem with my right hand, and I was having to, eat with my left hand, which isn't, I'm not used to doing that. But then I started noticing my left hand starting to go as well, and I was losing use in that. And that's when I really started to panic. So I pretty much spent about a week straight doing nothing, but just using the internet, trying to find out what was wrong. And that's when I came across magnesium, and, you basically. And, I did a lot of research, and that's when I decided this is it. So I went to my doctors, and again, they're still denying it. And I've been back to my doctors with a big fact sheet, I tried to get them to read, including a couple of quotes by yourself, actually. I thought, maybe I could try and sway them to consider it a possibility, because the thing that I thought is to recover from this, because if I lost the usage of my arms and hands, I thought I was pretty heavily deficient, and I thought the only way out of that would be to get injections and just get it up that way. And that's what I was trying to talk my doctor into, but they're not very agreeable.
So where are you at now, Dan? Are you taking any magnesium?
Where I'm at now, I had a magnesium blood test. That came back normal, so that's why the doctor said there's no problem. So I realised I've got to take some serum.
Was it the serum magnesium? Yeah.
It was,
okay, are you ready for me to talk?
Well, I was just going to tell you where I am, basically. So that's when I decided to take it into my own hands. I got my mum to buy me some Epsom salts. I got some magnesium spray as well, and some more tablet supplements. And I've been soaking my feet, because I can't get into a bath, really. I've got like a shower in my bathroom, and that's it. So I've been soaking my feet in a bowl of Epsom salt every day for about 2 hours a day. I'm not sure if it matters how long, but I'm just desperate at this point. And then after around a week or two of that, I can use a fork again. I can pick up drinks. So it's not fixed, but I can tell it's definitely making slight improvements. So that's why I feel like I'm on the right track. And I've not got much further, really.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's quite a story. And with CP, with cerebral palsy, I do talk about it in my Magnesium Miracle book, more so than in my blogs, but it's definitely a magnesium deficiency associated condition. So it starts there. You're born with magnesium deficiency. If you look up PPIs and magnesium, you'll find that there are FDA warnings that PPIs deplete the body of magnesium. So
the thing is, sorry, I was just going to say, I've heard that you've got to be on them around 3 months, but this happened to me almost instantly when I went on them. Is that?
Yeah, but that's because you were probably already deficient, right?
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how to check it, really. I mean, I was never told that.
No, you're listening to me right now, and I consider myself an expert in this, and this is what I'm saying from my experience and what I know about the research and everything, is that they'll have an average time of when the PPIs affect people. Some people it's within a few days. Some people it takes months. What does that mean? It means that if someone starts off being magnesium deficient, and then these PPIs go to work and deplete the magnesium further, then they'll experience it faster. This drug, it's a Prilosec probably that you were on. So I think Prilosec is a fluoride drug. So let me look it up. Oh my gosh, have they taken those off the Wikipedia? Prilosec. I'm looking it up in my my PowerPoint that I use to lecture about the magnesium deficiency caused by drugs. Prevacid has 3 fluoride molecules. I don't have Prilosec here. But if the drugs a person is on are fluoride drugs, then they can cause magnesium deficiency very precipitously. So anyway, it begins with possibly magnesium deficiency at birth, leading to the cerebral palsy symptoms. Then the PPI causes magnesium deficiency. Then when you start taking excess vitamin D above 1,000 milligrams a day, you're taking 40,000 a week, then that pulls more magnesium from storage sites to turn the supplemental vitamin D into active vitamin D. So there's another magnesium deficiency. The calcium at such a high level is going to bump off your magnesium. So, I mean, it just is, it's the scenario step by step as you worsened. And doctors don't study this. They never learned about it in medical school, so for them it doesn't exist. And the thing about injections, and they can be helpful, but what I found with our ReMag, because it's so well absorbed, and you can sip it through the day every day, and you can build up your magnesium stores a lot faster with ReMag orally than you can with injections, because, even if you could get injections every day, it's like too much all at once, and the body, you'll urinate away, you'll waste it basically, and you'll sort of have an up and down trajectory. But, as you said, you never even were able to convince them that you needed it. The magnesium blood test, the serum magnesium, is useless because in order to keep the heart stable, the serum magnesium will always look normal. And that's why doctors, they don't even bother testing magnesium because it always looks normal. The test that we need to have available is an ionized magnesium test, but it's only available in research facilities. The magnesium RBC test is somewhat better. So, I mean, you're just the perfect example of magnesium deficiency, and you're proving to yourself by starting to get magnesium absorption that it is improving. Now, it could take me with my heart palpitations and leg cramps, which were magnesium deficiency symptoms, not a disease, as it took me a couple of years to build up my magnesium. But right from the beginning, I started to feel better.
Do you think this is reversible then?
It was reversible in me. It's I see it reversible in many of my former patients and clients and now our customers.
Okay, it's just I read your blog post about PPIs and how they irreversibly block the gastric proton pump, and then I started to panic that it might be irreversible.
Well, when you're taking them, they irreversibly block, but when you stop taking them, the body makes new cells every minute.
Oh, okay.
The whole GI tract is replaced every couple of months. The red blood cells are replaced every 3 months. So that's why we talk constantly about cellular health, where you give your cells the right building blocks, and the next set of cells that are made are perfect.
Brilliant, yeah.
Okay.
My doctors, I've been trying to convince them, and my GP in turn contacted some doctors from the hospital, and apparently their advice was that if my serum magnesium level is normal, then my whole body magnesium level should be normal as well. That didn't sound right to me after from what I've been reading, but
no, it's very distressing. What I can do, Dan, is I'll clip the part in my book, the Magnesium Miracle book, where I give several references, more recent review articles about magnesium, where researchers are coming out, vehemently saying that you cannot equate serum magnesium tests with anything.
Sure, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. The serum magnesium test is highly inaccurate, yet is still the standard test used in hospitals. So I have a couple of good references for that. So it's doctors who just aren't reading the thousands of papers about magnesium. They're just so overwhelmed with trying to keep up on, what drugs to prescribe to people that they're not looking at anything like
that's
nutrients.
the thing. This wasn't obviously the first thought. I told them the drug what happened. There's a lot of evidence that supports this drug causing this, but they just didn't see it. They just saw my cerebral palsy and they saw like my wrists are bent, and then they figured, well, that's why your hands are numb. You've got a trapped nerve, and I had a nerve conduction test to rule that out even, but they still said the only thing they sat me down and said, there's no magic bullet for you. The only thing we can do is we need to inject Botox into your wrists to try and straighten your hands out, and you need to see a physiotherapist, you need splinting, and it's going to be a long road, basically.
Oh, my God. I see. So,
I refuse to believe it.
Yeah, good for you, but, yeah, they can give you a real negative report so that you're conflicted then about, well, I'm reading about magnesium, it looks good, but these doctors, they maybe they're supposed to know more than I do, so you can become very conflicted. And even the way the symptoms appeared, as you say, you have good upper body strength and everything, so you use your arms and upper body muscles a lot, so that's where you would be utilizing your magnesium, and maybe didn't have as much magnesium there, or you just use it up, you burn it, and so that's where the deficiency would appear. It appeared in your right hand first because you're right-handed and you use that hand more. It just all
I do spend a lot of time at the computer.
Yeah. Well,
is there any sort of reference that I can link, or you could link me that shows about these PPI drugs maybe affecting people instantly? Because that would be a great help, I think, as well, because the doctors just are not buying that this drug did this to me.
Well, yeah, if they're not aware of magnesium deficiency, they don't know how it works. Or So I'll make a note to do that. I'll give your email to Ginny at support@rnareset.com, and we'll get this information to you.
Brilliant. Thank you as well for being like that. You are the first person I've talked to in 2 years that actually believes that this could be a magnesium problem. It's really nice, actually.
Yes. Well, there's 6 major reasons why it is magnesium deficiency according to scientific magnesium research. I mean, that's what I know because I'm, focused on that. So it's frustrating when doctors don't even admit that they've never read a magnesium paper. So how would they know?
Yeah. I noticed I had a tingling underneath my tongue as well, and I believe that could be something known as tetany. Is that a symptom of magnesium deficiency?
Yes, Dan. Any muscle or any nerve in any part of the body can develop excessive firing due to magnesium deficiency, and it's because magnesium is supposed to keep calcium out of the cells, except for one action potential, and then calcium is supposed to leave, and for the next action potential, a little calcium goes in. If magnesium is unavailable, calcium builds and builds and builds in these cells and triggers off a constant either muscle spasm or nerve irritation.
Okay, that's one last question. I'm sorry, by the way. The thing, I'm soaking my feet in Epsom salt every day, but I can't actually find out anywhere about the amount of magnesium that's actually giving me. Like, is there any way to maybe quantify like how much I'm absorbing through doing that?
No, that's the trouble. I mean, we really need to have those studies done, and nobody's doing them.
Okay.
I make the joke lately that if I didn't have to be paying my lawyers so much money to protect me from the FDA, I'd be able to do some research. But I would like you to read more about ReMag and think about using that, because that we know is 100% absorbed, and we know.
Actually, I ordered that last week, so I'm expecting that to arrive sometime next week. I ordered that along with ReMag. I wasn't sure what I'm low on, to be honest, so I ordered both really, and hope to get results from that. Really, I've heard a lot of good things.
Good. Right, and keep in touch with us, and I'll help you with the studies that I can. It sounds like now you're trying to educate your doctors, but they're.
I try.
Yeah, you're trying, but basically try and focus on yourself. It's going to be very hard for them to admit that they're ignorant of something. In medical school, we were told, look, if you come across something that you didn't learn in medical school, it doesn't exist. That's it. That's the philosophy. So that's what you're up against. Unlike the veterinarian who, when Catherine told him about the ReMag that she was using for her dog because his heart valves were improved, then he was interested. But they're more interested in helping the animals, I guess. Sorry, I'm starting to get sarcastic. I think I should.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
I'll move on. Okay, so give Ginny your email, and we'll help you out. Okay, Dan?
Okay, sure. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
Okay, wonderful. Very good exchange. Lovely caller. Thank you very much. Carolyn, let's press on with another call or two, and then we'll go back to our regular flow of business here. Let's go up to British Columbia, Canada, area code 604. You're on the line with Dr. Dean. If you could give us your name and then state your question or comment.
Oh, hi, it's Joanna. I was wondering regarding the Realign. I haven't spoken to you for now, I guess, about 10 months. But the question I have is, would Realign help with reducing prednisone side effects? Because I had to go on to prednisone for a 2-month course due to an injury this summer from gardening and with my back and my pelvis. And I'm noticing quite a few not very nice side effects, like weight gain is one of them. And secondly is like swelling around the neck and the face, and I don't know, just other things like skin cracking and other little not very pleasant side effects. I just would at the minute I'm only taking one Realign a day. I'm just wondering if I should increase that, and would that help to detoxify and get this yuck stuff out of my body?
How old are you, Joanna?
53.
Okay. When you had the injury, were you using ReMag?
Yes, I've been using it since March 2016. Yeah, ReMag and ReMite, yes.
And the injury was so severe that you had to go on steroids?
Yeah, I didn't even really feel much at the time. It felt like a slight pulled muscle, but 2 days later, I was in so much pain. I went to bed early, and then the next morning I literally couldn't even get out of bed, and my daughter eventually had to call 911. What had happened, apparently, the muscles had gone into such a spasm that it pulled the pelvis out of alignment, and it was nipping on the spinal nerve. So they took me there, and they gave me muscle relaxants. That didn't work, and they gave me something else, and that didn't work. Eventually they gave me some narcotics, and that did get the muscles to relax, and then they put me on a muscle relaxant. And then I had an allergic reaction to that and broke out in hives and all these welts over my body, and that's why they put me on prednisone.
Oh, gosh.
So all just from doing gardening.
Oh, boy. Okay, so where was it your back, your low back? What part of your body?
It's the low back, and apparently the pelvis was out of alignment because I went to the chiropractor, and she says she's done everything she can to put it to realign it, but now it's like a muscular soft tissue thing. But when I came off, I was only on the prednisone for 5 days, and then when I came off it, all the hives and the welts came back. So then he said, "Oh, I need to go on for a longer period of time," because they didn't taper it down from the strong dose. Apparently it's going to be tapered down gradually. So now I'm on the tapering down. So I've only got 16 more days to go, but it's just getting really uncomfortable now.
Right. Okay. So I have enough information now. So what the prednisone will do is kind of overtake your adrenal glands, and for that it is supporting the adrenals with the vitamin C, the B vitamins in Realign. So yes, it would be good to have them twice a day, and lots of ReMag, of course. The ReMag is supposed to help with muscle spasm, but it sounds like the injury, I mean, when you start impinging on your spinal cord, then, you do have to take, emergency action. So the Realign, of course, but like I said, it's more, it's not so much toxicity as it's trying to take over from your adrenal glands. So to support the adrenal glands, it's vitamin C, the B vitamins in the Realign, 2 or 3 a day of those I would be taking. And ReMag, I mean, I'd be taking the 3 teaspoons a day. And then if you can, either make your own ReMag lotion or get some ReMag lotion from us, and either yourself or have someone just slather it on that area. And I'm looking up the total biology of the hips and pelvis, so I don't know if you should look at, what is there some conflict that my, low back area I've gotten into, the low back is grounding, it's sexuality, it's and there's those 2 aspects of if that gets thrown out of balance. Should you be looking at those aspects of what the low back is associated with?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if you can go from there, does that give you enough to work on?
Yeah, I just ordered some Realign. I just wasn't sure how many I could take. So I can take up to 3 a day then?
You can. I mean, it's water-soluble bees, so you're not going to overload on them. And you'll know, take them with food, but if you're taking 1 a day now, then you take 2 a day and see how you feel. But look up my blog that is titled Dr. Dean Supplement Recommendations about my vitamin C recommendations as well. Okay?
Okay. And just one more quick question. When I come off the prednisone in 16 days, will everything go back to normal, like the weight loss and everything? Will it all just sort of, because the doctor said it's because of the prednisone?
It should, because it's short term in the sense that you haven't been on it for a year, so the body should adapt. Mm-hmm. So, just don't think that your body won't adapt. Really be positive about it. Like, okay, I'm getting rid of the drug. I'm using, more ReMag, more Realign. It's going to help me, and it could take a while though, because the prednisone, I mean, there's good reason why we stopped using it decades ago for arthritis, but now, doctors don't even know how to prescribe it properly. So
it's not a good drug. It feels awful.
No.
Yeah, not good at all. Anyway, thank you so much, Dr. Dean. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for calling, Joanne. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, 602-666-6027 is the number to call if you did want to talk with Dr. Dean this evening. Be sure to hit *5 on your keypad when you call into the show. We'll put you on the line with Dr. Dean. Let me just read a couple comments to you, Carolyn, from the chat line. And one of the things that somebody typed in was Marv, M-A-R-V, typed in, "So glad to know you're back. I have to give you my testimonial of the RNA miracle. I have also had the worst varicose veins on both legs. I thought that I should rub a few drops on both legs. Hallelujah, they disappeared in just a few days. Thank you, thank you, thank you."
I don't believe it. I just don't believe it, Marv.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty crazy. Now, we did get a varicose vein testimonial a couple of years ago, people rubbing drops on their legs, but it wasn't overnight, like, 2 or 3 days. I think they had to do it for a couple months. But the swelling in their varicose veins did go down. So there's that. We have to require some physical proof from you, Marv. Chop off your legs and send them to me here at Support. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, now let's see.
Thank you, Marv. Thank you.
That's right. Thank you, Marv.
We will not discredit your testimonial.
I think she's mistaken to think our product caused that.
Marv? You mean the male person, Marv?
Whoever she just read is deluded. Our product did not cause that.
Oh, yeah, that makes us a drug. Oh, my gosh.
Yes, we did not do that.
Yeah.
You're an FDA person trying to set us up is what I'm saying. You got that, Dan? Notice that, Dan. I'm on the ball here, Dan.
Very good. Okay, very good. And then let's say also that Susan in New Zealand typed in and said, I'm going to buy the ReMag lotion for my 12-year-old daughter who won't drink the ReMag. She also has keratosis pilaris, which causes rough red areas on her skin. I'm hoping the lotion might help with this. Yeah, sounds like a good plan.
That's what that's the small hard bumps on the upper arms that I'm saying are gone with my ReMag.
Oh, nice.
Pilaris. Absolutely.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, wonderful. All right, very good. And then we have another testimonial come in. Hi, okay, so I've had a lot of damage to both of my knees in the PCL muscles. It happened because I have poor knees in general, but also because I was in a car accident. I was a passenger, and it was head-on collision, so the dashboard ended up smashing my knees. Oh, Lord. I don't have enough cartilage. I'm not allowed to jump or really do the stairs at all, but the ReMag has been a great help to me. So that's what one of our people wanted to type in. All right, excellent. And then chitty-chatting back and forth. Oh, and Kim B types in and says, ReMite is the best ionic supplement I've come across, and I've searched multiple sources. So thanks, Kim. That's excellent, too. Everybody's so excited we're back. Okay, Carolyn, let's press on with our important agenda, and whatever things you wanted to share. Yep, go ahead.
I have a question here. Someone says, I've been trying to get an answer to this question to no avail. Why does magnesium make my blood pressure rise? I'm on losartan and amlodipine. Gosh, I wish I could say these names. Does it have something to do with these drugs? The same thing happens to my sister. I hope you can answer this for me. I take 200 IUs of vitamin D per day and know that I should be taking magnesium. Now, it's not at all common for a person to get a blood pressure rise when they take magnesium, but I have seen it a couple of times, and I think it's possibly happening because, when you start taking magnesium, it revs things up, and it's like people who get a little toxicity when they feel they're getting a toxicity or a healing reaction when they take magnesium. Things get stirred up. And, that may be happening. What we've done with people in that case is just say you go really slowly. I don't know what magnesium this person, let's see if I have her name, Cheryl. I don't know what magnesium Cheryl is talking about, if she's talking about our product, but the two people I can recall that said they had a blood pressure rise in the beginning of taking ReMag, we said, well, cut way back, quarter teaspoon. If you started there and that seemed too much, start with 10 drops, because most people do need magnesium. We know that people with high blood pressure, especially if you're on, 2 medications for blood pressure, perhaps there is a bit of a reaction to the drugs. We'll never tell you to stop the drugs, but what you do with the magnesium is take it low and slow so that your body can adapt. losartan is an angiotensin drug, and Bob's sitting beside me with his hand on the unmute button. The other drug is calcium channel blocker, and we know that the natural calcium channel blocker is magnesium. So the body can react in the beginning of taking magnesium. It may be causing this transient high blood pressure, and in order to get around that, I've seen people just go really low and slow. I don't know if that's enough information, but get back to us if you have more questions, Cheryl. Okay, the next question. Loving the products I've purchased so far. I would like to know if Dr. Dean would ever consider making ReMag without calcium. I need those other minerals, but my calcium is already too high, and I eat lots of fruits and veggies. I have no thyroid due to radiation treatment, and my calcium levels have been as high as 10. So I won't take any supplement with added calcium. Okay, now what I did with the ReMag, I was more concerned with the 9 thyroid minerals, but I did put 31 milligrams of magnesium, 31 milligrams of calcium, tiny, tiny amounts that really should not cause any elevation in calcium, and the magnesium is kind of the antidote to the calcium. So I don't know what else to say. You know, most calcium products are 300 to 1,200 milligrams in a tablet, 300 to 1,200. This is 31 milligrams. So I'm just saying it's a really low dose. The next bunch of text I have here, Ginny, is just to mention the last 3 blogs that I did over the past week. So I wonder if you have any calls or have anything else to bring up before I go to those blogs.
Okay, very good. Let's check in at 602-666-6027. Nope, we're all clear here on the board. So, yeah, let's review those blogs.
But I just went down a little further. I had, it's a response to the blogs. So, yeah, let's go to the blogs. The first one is hospitals make me worse. And, you know, that's a topic close to my heart. I wrote about it in Death by Modern Medicine. And what got me writing this blog was an August 10th, 2017 Medscape article called Elderly Hospital Patients Arrive Sick and Often Leave Disabled. I don't know how much more I can say to, you know, bring it home to you that this is just a hospital's failing us, totally failing us. You can read the blog at drcarolyndean.com, and I think it's an important one. I'm sorry that it's fear-based, but I'm just trying to present the information to people. And what I think the ReMag lotion can do for people is allow you to bring in a nice cream into the hospital to help soothe the dry skin that people develop in hospital settings. I won't say anything more. The next blog is the anti-supplement lobby, and you have to be aware that there's always going to be attacks on dietary supplements. As you know, we all saw recently with the FDA not wanting me to say that magnesium can help your diseases, but it's just something to keep you healthy while you use your medications. We know that they don't know enough about supplements to support it, and the FDA is being supported by the drug companies. They get a lot of their income from the drug companies. So there's extreme attacks on supplements. The August 23rd, 2017, CNN Health Online posted the following. High doses of vitamin B, B6 and B12 tied to lung cancer risk. So they're actually trying to say that the B vitamins cause cancer. That's the title. And, you know, I write that they're comparing apples and coconuts, trying to develop some sort of case where they're just measuring, they're measuring the dietary intake of these B vitamins and comparing them in people with lung cancer and people without lung cancer. And it's ridiculous. No blood tests were involved. No real science was involved. It's just something to garner that headline. And when you look at these alarmist articles, you just see this constant attack. The Metro New York throwaway paper has a fear-mongering article called, "Should You Take Vitamins and Supplements at All? All Signs Point to No." Now, Bob would say, well, you know, we're attacking dietary supplements, the 55,000 that are out there, you know, are they doing any good? Well, they're certainly not killing people. I mean, that's one thing that we have to remember. They are not killing people. But what we know is that supplements can be better, and we've made better ones. But at the same time, I just, you know, I have to speak out against this attack on them. And my colleagues at Orthomolecular Medicine News Service, I'm on the board with a couple dozen other doctors, and the articles you can read by clicking on links that I have in this post at drcarolyndean.com. Dr. Andrew Saul writes, "Media medicine, have you no sense of decency?" And this is about a poison center study where they put out a headline, calls to poison center about supplements up 50%, especially among kids. And apparently there are 275,000 calls. Now, these aren't deaths. They aren't, you know, injuries. They're just calls. And I say, you know, with the 55,000 dietary supplements on the market, I'm sure kids are going to get into some of those bottles and sample the contents, and their parents will panic and call the poison center to know what to do. And another Orthomolecular News Service article about the safety of supplements in January 2017 reads, "No deaths from supplements." And that is a report, you know, put out by a government agency that reminds us there are 0 deaths from supplements. None, 0. And yet dietary supplements are being targeted to be made into drugs, to be taken off the shelves, to be prescribed only by doctors who haven't got a clue how to prescribe them or how to work with them. And the third blog is Science Denies Your Pain. And this was information about statin drugs, how statins do cause muscle pain. I wrote about that April 23rd, 2016. And yet in June 2017, The Lancet, well-known, you know, peer-reviewed journal, publishes statin-associated muscle symptoms. Beware of the nocebo effect. Now, they're definitely reading my blogs and my modules because I talk about the nocebo effect. So this study actually denies that statins have side effects and, quote, scientifically proves that it's all in the patient's head. They've referenced the nocebo effect, which is the opposite of the placebo effect. It's the most condescending attitude toward patients that I've witnessed in recent years. So you have to read this article because I know Everybody that goes to the doctor now and has cholesterol of 201 will be almost forced to take a statin drug. And you have to know that there are side effects. You have to know that cholesterol does not cause heart disease and that taking statin drugs is not going to extend your life. In fact, it gives you a lot of side effects. So the other thing I have at the end of my blogs, there's a summit that's still going on, Beyond Pain Summit. It was supposed to quit September 16th, but they're extending it for another 11 days because of the hurricanes. So you can go to my blogs and click on Beyond Pain Summit and sign up. So the hospital article engendered a lot of response, and people thought it was an excellent article. And I replied to someone that, someone said MDs need to change their ways to meet up with the modern world. And I said, unfortunately, the doctors are no longer in charge, so they have no way of making changes. There are lots of reports now that doctors are dissatisfied with their jobs, burnt out, and committing suicide. I say a big reason is that they're using drugs that don't work, so their patients aren't getting better, but usually just get worse. And, this correspondent agreed with me, and it's a very sad state of affairs. And just a couple more along the same lines. Actually, this gentleman who used to be a manager of a health food store said he had some wonderful encounters with an 86-year-old woman who came in and was taking her vitamin B complex, vitamin C, and magnesium. They're the three that I recommend for years. And one day she came he said, with another attractive lady who resembled her in physical features. Without thinking, he inquired, is this your sister? The lady standing next to her immediately took the opportunity to blurt out in a firm and determined voice, "No, I'm her daughter." I attempted an awkward apology, he said, because the mother was healthier looking than her daughter. And then he said it all made sense. Her mother was on the right track, and it showed positively. So this is what health food store people would see. And people, this woman was perfectly taking just a handful of things, and they were working. So I thought that was a very sweet note to me. Someone wrote a little... Bob, go on. You're muted. Not taking our products. No, just over the years, just taking basic C, B, and vitamin and magnesium. So we did a healthy exercise webinar. It's available now to everybody. It went very well. And actually, this is Merv. I wonder if it's the Merv who's on chat. Said, thanks to you and Virginia for keeping us informed. I was not able to get connected due to other engagements since I got home. I listen to it on Mondays. If I miss your program, it feels I have lost a good homemade meal. Please continue. God bless you both. Thank you, Merv. And then a testimonial. This is my favorite product of all time. As a writer, this product helps me to be a clearer channel for the information I'm able to bring through. I also enjoy the above-the-fray calmness experienced with the RNA reset. I also enjoy the clarity of mind this produces. Thank you, Dr. Dean and Ion. But no thanks, Bob. I'm sorry, Bob. Testimonial. Now, this is one of our many Florida customers. Hello, ladies. I'm home on the west coast of Florida. So this is her hunkering down, waiting to see what Hurricane Irma will thrust upon us. It's been a crazy week of weather, and I'm ready to just get through it. I am thinking about all I have to be grateful for, and, of course, my health is right at the top of the list. Much thanks to you, Dr. Dean, that I'm feeling better at age 54 than I have ever felt. I know much of this is due to your complement formulas. I've been using them for about 2 years now. Your products are incredible, thanks to ReMag and RNA drops. for keeping me calm and centered through all this nerve-wracking days lately. I know, too, that as long as I have my shaker bottle, water, and restructure post-Irma, I'll be getting what I need for fuel. Just want you to know what a big difference you and your fantastic products have made in my own life as well as several family members' lives. Thank you to both of you for all that you do. And that was from Jenny.
I tell people, Carol, there's no doctor on the planet who gets as many happy emails as Carolyn gets, and she's only reading a few of them.
Yeah. And Jenny, I think Jenny gets even more.
Yeah, on a daily basis, I meant to say. On a daily basis, nobody gets that.
Okay, Jenny, I think I've plumbed the depths. I've sped through a lot, but that means we have a clear slate now.
I just want to say that ever since Carolyn's been 6 years old, she's been complimented. Everything she does is always great. She's nothing good to her.
I'm sure it's true, but do you really have to take it back to 6 years old, Bob? That's hilarious.
Yes. You know the story of her on the boat, on the yacht, or with the cruise ship. You know that story, Jenny?
Do you know the story of my cruise to Scotland when I was 8 years old?
No, I don't.
Oh, here it is quickly. My older sister, 2.5 years older, and myself were on the Cunard lines out of Halifax. It was it's a passenger boat, but they carried some freight as well. We had the worst crossing in the history of the Cunard lines, and the only people who were on their feet were the crew and me, 8 years old. So gosh. I was going around with the steward helping him with all the sick people. Seriously.
Oh, my God.
And this is evidenced by the fact that about, 40 years later, when my mom and dad were down on some bus tour in southern United States, somebody recognized my mother's beautiful Scottish accent and say, I know that voice. I know you. How did we meet? And they worked it back to this cruise, this crossing, they used to call it. And it wasn't a minute before this woman said, well, whatever happened to that adorable daughter of yours who was helping everybody on the boat? And my dad piped up and said, oh, well, she's a doctor now. And, of course, my mother said, now, Harold, bragging is a sin? Is that what they say, bragging is a sin?
Probably, yeah.
What's the word?
It's not good.
Pride.
Not good at all.
Yeah.
Pride is a sin,
no.
Harold.
Yeah, pride is a sin. That's right.
So that's why Bob says, since I was a little
6
one.
or 7, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Isn't
that's so precious. That is so precious.
Oh, she's a
oh my
doctor
God.
now.
That's hilarious.
That. Yeah, Carol's
That
not a
is
doctor anymore. We had to get rid of that.
And my
compliment.
poor sister, who, after one of my younger sisters by 8 years, after she had her master's thesis in biology stolen by her university professor, and we talked about it, and I said, look, just become a doctor, be your own boss. So she became a doctor, and what does my father said? Oh, that's wonderful, dear. Now you can start writing books and really help people. He wouldn't let her off the hook.
He said that to your sister.
He said that to my sister.
Because you'd been doing it.
Yes.
Because you'd been doing it.
Yeah. You have to measure up to Carolyn. So, there you go. That leads to dissension in the ranks.
Oh, my gosh. That does lead to dissension among the siblings.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
That's
so precious, rivalry. Carolyn. I can just see you. Well, I don't know, do we have it up anymore? We used to have this really cute picture of you on your website, but when we got all FDA-ish, we might have taken it down. But remember that little cute picture of you?
That's on the back of her book. That's on the back of her first edition of When You Can't Reach a Doctor back in 91. I told her to put that on there.
Yeah, yes. I have that book. Sue Bone was kind enough to give it to me. Well, I think
it's a great picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
very good picture.
It's so cute. It's so cute. There you are, just prancing around, helping everybody. Well, destiny cannot be denied.
Right, and then to hear 40 years later it come back to her, that's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that someone
That's
remembered.
Awesome. Yes.
But,
All right,
Carol started off helping her father in the tool shop, probably what time she was 4. Right, Carol?
I was second born of 4 girls, so I was the token son. So I totally got everything. I got all the training and in tools and repairs and building
and then when you did the girl guide knots, oh my God, Superwoman.
Anyway, yes, thank you, Bob.
Yeah.
Bob's increasing my whatever.
Well, just what Nancy says, our good friend Nancy, she says, this is a great story. I love these little tidbits that helps us know Carolyn even more. She's a very special person, and you are very special, Carolyn, and people love to have, just those little glimmers of what a little cutie patootie you were growing up. And now, so you're the same. You're exactly the same. You're in the stormy waters of
people.
in the worst crossing of the environment of the whole channel of
human history as we cross to the new world.
The worst time in human history, and there she is on the boat. Everybody's about ready to sink, and she's helping everybody. It's so pretty. That's so sweet. Very sweet.
And Bob's increasing my credibility. Would that be the word that I'm looking for? Are you increasing my credibility by bringing up these stories?
No.
Or are you making fun of me?
I'm just making you human. No, actually, that makes you more inhuman, doesn't it?
Very good. Excellent. Well, it was a great show. It's great to be back. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And, yes, Dr. Dean is our good friend and such a great doctor. Thank you, Carolyn, for your time again this evening. And we will be back next week, everybody. Tune back in. We'll have more fun. And thank you, Bob, for your contribution tonight. It was great. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, listeners and callers.
There's our audience, little kids.
You've been listening to Live with Dr. Carolyn Dean here on AchieveRadio.com. Till next time, so long, and thanks for all the fish.
AchieveRadio.com. AchieveRadio.com.
All they're saying is that you got to get